Husbands cheat, you need to accept it and suffer, my in-laws demanded. Well, I am not going to suffer anymore. I took what's mine, which included their happiness and peace. I never imagined my life would turn out like this. When I married Ethan, I thought I was stepping into a partnership, a love story that would withstand time. I was wrong. What I got was a full-time job managing a marriage that wasn't even alive. I worked long hours at my job, yet when I came home, I wasn't allowed to rest. Cooking, cleaning, running errands, everything fell on my shoulders. Ethan? He barely lifted a finger. Work was exhausting, he'd say, stretching out on the couch while I cleaned up the dinner plates. And I believed it. At first, I told myself that this was normal. That this was what a good wife did. But as the years passed, exhaustion became my constant companion, and his family? They were worse. His mother, Linda, always had something to say. You should wake up earlier to cook breakfast for Ethan. He works hard, you know, why are you wearing that to work? Women should be modest, especially when they have a husband. Don't you think you're too focused on your job? A woman's real duty is to her home. I swallowed my anger every time. I told myself to endure it. After all, I was married to their son, and family was supposed to matter, but nothing I did was enough, not the sleepless nights. Not the sacrifices. Not the money I poured into the house while Ethan barely contributed, and worst of all, my husband wasn't just distant. He was gone, emotionally. Physically, even when he was home, he was elsewhere. A stranger in our bed, and I was too tired to question it, too exhausted to see the truth staring me in the face, that I was nothing more than a convenience to him. I should have seen the signs earlier, the late nights at the office. The sudden interest in his appearance, new cologne, stylish clothes, working out when he had never cared before. The way he kept his phone glued to his hand, screen turned away from me, I ignored it. I convinced myself that I was being paranoid. That I was tired and overthinking. That Ethan was just stressed, until one evening, when the truth smacked me in the face. I had left work early, deciding to surprise him with dinner. It had been so long since we'd had a real conversation, and some foolish part of me still believed we could fix things. That if I tried hard enough, if I loved him enough, he'd come back to me. I never even made it to the kitchen. Ethan's phone was on the table, his screen lighting up with a message. I can still feel you on me. Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again. My hands shook. My heartbeat pounded in my ears. I picked up the phone. Unlocked it. And that's when the dam broke. Message after message, photos. Videos. A woman, someone younger, someone beautiful, telling my husband how much she loved him, and he loved her back. I don't remember how long I stood there, staring at the betrayal spelled out in digital ink. I don't remember how my body moved, but suddenly I was sitting on the couch, gripping the phone so tightly my knuckles turned white. He had been cheating for months, maybe even longer, and I had been here, carrying the weight of our life, while he was out indulging himself, when the front door finally opened, and Ethan walked in. He barely looked at me before tossing his keys on the table, but when he saw his phone in my hands, his face paled. "Megan," he said cautiously. "What are you doing?" I looked up at him, something inside me snapping. "Reading." He took a slow step forward. "I can explain," I laughed. A sharp, humorless sound. "Explain? What exactly do you plan to explain, Ethan? That you've been sleeping with another woman? That you've been lying to my face every day?" I stood, my hands trembling. "Or maybe you want to explain why I've been killing myself to support this marriage while you've been giving your love to someone else." He had nothing to say, because there was nothing to say, and in that moment, as he opened and closed his mouth like a fool, I realized something. I had wasted my life on him, and I was done. I didn't scream. I didn't throw things. I didn't break down in tears like a betrayed wife in a movie. No, I simply packed a bag and left. I didn't know where I was going at first. My mind was a storm, thoughts crashing into each other, but there was one thing I knew with absolute certainty. I refused to stay under the same roof as that man, and yet, as I drove aimlessly through the city, something inside me itched for justice, not just against Ethan, but against all of them, his parents, his family, every single one of them who had treated me like I was beneath them while I worked myself to the bone. So, I turned the car around and headed straight to his parents' house. I knocked, my fingers curled into fists. A moment later, Linda opened the door, her perfectly made-up face twisting in annoyance at the sight of me. "Oh, Megan. What are you doing here? Did you and Ethan have another little argument?" "Little," my teeth clenched. "Where's your son?" She rolled her eyes. "He's not here." "But whatever it is, I'm sure, I know," I cut her off. "I know he's cheating." Her expression didn't change. No shock. No concern. Nothing, and that's when I knew. She already knew, of course, she said, her tone almost bored. "Is that why you're here? To throw a tantrum? Megan, you're a grown woman. Surely, you understand how these things work." I blinked. "How these things work," she sighed as if I was a child too stupid to understand. "Men have needs. It's just something wives have to accept. Ethan is a man, after all. You can't expect him to be satisfied forever with just one woman." I felt my stomach twist. "You knew he was cheating? And you didn't say anything?" Linda shrugged. "What good would that do? You're his wife, Megan. Your job is to endure these things and keep the family together. You shouldn't be causing unnecessary drama over something so small." "So small," my vision went red. "I have worked every single day to keep this family together," I spat. "I have worked a full-time job, paid most of the bills, cleaned your son's messes, tolerated you and your condescending insults, and now you're telling me I should just endure his affair because he has needs," Linda scoffed, crossing her arms. "Oh, please. Don't be dramatic. Ethan provides for you," I laughed. A real, bitter laugh. "Does he?" I asked. "Because last time I checked, I was the one making sure the mortgage was paid. I was the one keeping food on the table. I was the one making sure he had everything while he was off screwing another woman behind my back." She waved a dismissive hand. "If you were a better wife, maybe he wouldn't have strayed." And just like that, every ounce of restraint inside me snapped. I took a slow step forward, my voice deathly calm. "Let me make one thing clear, Linda. I am done suffering. I am done being treated like a servant, like a fool, like a disposable object." She opened her mouth, but I wasn't finished. "I have given everything to this marriage, and now? I'm going to take everything from it. Your son is going to regret the day he ever thought he could betray me. And you? You're going to watch as I take him down piece by piece." I turned on my heel and walked away. As I drove off, one thought burned in my mind. This wasn't just about revenge anymore, this was war. I didn't go back home that night. I checked into a hotel, letting the silence settle around me like a second skin. I needed space to think, to breathe, to figure out what came next. But before I could even sit down, my phone lit up. "Ethan," I let it ring. Then it rang again. And again. Finally, I picked up. The moment I answered, his voice hit me like a hammer. "Megan, where the hell are you?" I laughed. "Oh, so now you care where I am." "Don't start with that," he snapped. "I came home, and all your stuff was gone." "You're acting insane. Just come back, and we'll talk about this like adults." "Like adults?" I repeated, my voice dripping with venom. "You mean like how you had adult conversations with your mistress while I was home working to keep your life in order?" A heavy silence filled the line. Then he sighed, the kind of sigh men give when they think you're the problem. "Look, I don't know what you want me to say. It happened, all right? But do you really want to throw away our marriage over one mistake?" "One mistake, one." I gripped the phone so tightly my nails dug into my palm. "Is that what you're calling it?" My voice was eerily calm. "A mistake, yeah," he said, as if it were obvious. "Megan, men screw up sometimes. It's not like I don't love you. It was just something on the side. It didn't mean anything." I shut my eyes, rage curling in my chest. "So let me get this straight," I said slowly. "You lied to me, humiliated me, betrayed me for months, and you think the problem is me not wanting to throw this under the rug." Another pause. Then, in a voice full of forced patience, he said, this is what women do, Megan. They forgive. You think you're the first wife to go through this? My mother went through it with my dad. And she's fine. I nearly dropped the phone. He said it so casually, so confidently, as if it were normal, as if cheating was just an inconvenience I should ignore, like a leaky faucet or a broken car. My stomach churned. I had wasted years of my life with this man, years, and he saw nothing wrong with what he had done, no remorse. No guilt, only entitlement. I took a deep breath, forcing steel into my spine. Well, Ethan, I said, my voice as sharp as a blade. If all wives are supposed to forgive, I guess I'm not much of a wife after all. What the hell does that mean? I smiled to myself. It means you should start preparing yourself, I said. Because I'm about to make this the most expensive mistake of your life. I hung up before he could respond. For the first time in years, I felt powerful. Ethan had no idea what was coming, but he would soon. Ethan thought I would come back. He thought I would cool down, cry for a while, and then return like a dutiful wife, ready to forgive him and pretend nothing had happened. He had no idea who he was dealing with. For years, I had been the one holding our life together. I knew every detail of our finances, every bill, every asset, and most importantly, every weakness. If Ethan thought he could betray me and walk away unscathed, he was about to learn a very painful lesson. The first thing I did was secure my money. Yes, my money. Ethan barely contributed to our expenses, and most of our accounts were funded by me. While he had been out entertaining his mistress, I had been the one making sure the mortgage was paid, the credit cards were covered, and food was on the table. That ended now. I transferred all my personal funds into a new account under my name alone. I froze all joint credit cards. I removed myself from any financial obligation tied to him. Ethan would wake up one morning and realize his access to money was gone. Good, let him feel helpless for once. Ethan and his family thrived on image. To the outside world, we were the perfect couple. A hard-working husband, a supportive wife, a stable marriage. His parents loved to brag about their wonderful son and the ideal life we had built together. It was all a lie, and I was going to tear it down. I started with his work. Ethan's boss was very old-fashioned, a family man who valued loyalty and reputation above all else. He had invited us to countless company events, always praising us as the kind of couple that represented the company's values, so I sent him a polite email. I attached screenshots of Ethan's messages with his mistress, the hotel receipts, the timestamps of all the nights he had worked late, and just like that, Ethan's professional reputation was in shambles. Next, I went for his family. Linda had been so smug, so dismissive when I confronted her. She had acted as if I was nothing, as if Ethan's infidelity was my problem, not theirs, so I made it their problem. I sent the evidence to his relatives, to the people Linda worked so hard to impress. Every cousin, every aunt, every friend who had ever heard her talk about how wonderful Ethan was, now, they had the truth. I wanted them to see, I wanted them to know the real Ethan. With the truth out, I moved on to the final step, the divorce. I didn't just want to leave Ethan. I wanted to make sure he walked away with nothing. I had been smart over the years. The house was in my name. The car? Mine. The savings? Mostly mine, but I wanted everything, so I hired the best divorce lawyer I could find. I gathered every document, every proof of financial dependency, and every message that showed Ethan's affair. I was going to bury him in court. I wasn't just leaving, I was destroying him, and when Ethan finally realized that, it would be far too late. The first sign of trouble came when Ethan's credit card was declined. I know this because he called me. Furious as Megan, what the hell is going on? He demanded the second I answered. My card got declined at the gas station. I smirked, twirling my pen between my fingers as I sat in my lawyer's office. Oh. That's strange, I said, my voice laced with fake concern. Maybe you should check with the bank. I did, he snapped. They said the joint account was closed. What did you do? I leaned back in my chair, enjoying the moment. I did what any responsible adult would do, Ethan. I took control of my finances. You know, since I was the one funding everything anyway, you can't just cut me off like that, he shouted. We're married, for now. The silence on the other end was beautiful. And then, what the hell does that mean? It means you should check your email. I heard the sound of his laptop opening, the furious clicking of keys. And then, finally, the moment I had been waiting for, he cut himself off, breathing heavily. You sent me divorce papers. Yes, Ethan, I said sweetly. Surprise, are you insane? His voice cracked, his anger shifting into panic. You can't do this. You're overreacting. We can work this out, I laughed. Oh, now you want to work this out? Was that before or after you screwed your little girlfriend in hotel rooms I probably paid for? He had no answer for that. So I continued, I'm done, Ethan. I'm done paying for you. I'm done cleaning up after you. And I'm sure as hell done being humiliated by you, Megan. He tried again, his voice desperate now. Come on. We've been together for years. You can't just throw all of that away over one mistake? I repeated, my blood boiling. You cheated for months. You lied to me for months. You let your family insult me while I carried our life on my back, and now you want to talk about our history, he stammered, struggling to come up with an excuse. I let him suffer in silence for a few seconds before I delivered the final blow. Oh, and by the way, I added casually. I also sent everything to your boss. So good luck explaining how a family man like you can still represent the company after they've seen all those messages. You did what? I smiled. Oops, I hung up, and for the first time in years, I felt free. Ethan called me dozens of times post that. At first, he was furious. He left angry voicemails, calling me every name in the book. He said I was bitter, that I was being dramatic, that no man would ever want me after this. Then, when that didn't work, the desperation set in. Megan, please, he begged in one message. I messed up, okay? But we can fix this. Just come home. I didn't need to, because soon, his real problems began. His job? Gone. His family? Embarrassed. His bank account? Empty. His life? Ruined. And me, I walked away with everything. Ethan lost everything. First, it was his money. After I cut him off, he scrambled to find a way to support himself. He tried opening a new credit card, denied. He tried pulling money from his savings, only to remember that I had been the one managing all the bills while he wasted his paycheck on nonsense. Then, it was his job. The moment his boss saw the screenshots, the company distanced themselves from him immediately. Ethan was fired within days. Apparently, his boss didn't want the scandal of a family man exposed as a cheating fraud. With no income, no backup plan, and no access to my money, Ethan started spiraling. And that's when the real begging began. At first, he tried to act tough. You think you've won, he spat in one voicemail. Fine. I don't need you, Megan. You were just a bitter, nagging wife anyway. I'll be just fine without you. That bravado didn't last long. A week later, his tone had changed. Megan, please. Can we talk? His voice was softer, almost unrecognizable. I messed up, okay? But we can work something out. You don't have to go through with the divorce. Let's just take some time and figure this out. I ignored him. The messages kept coming. Baby, please. I don't have anywhere to go. I lost my job. My parents won't even let me stay with them after you sent them that crap. I'm homeless, Megan. I need you. I'll do anything, okay? Just come back. Just please, don't do this. I didn't even feel pity, because where was this desperation when I was working overtime to keep our life together? Where was this regret when he was in another woman's bed? Where was this love when his family was tearing me down, and he let them? He was drowning, and I had no intention of saving him. The last time I saw Ethan, he was a shell of the man he used to be. His clothes were wrinkled, his eyes sunken, his arrogance gone. He found me outside my lawyer's office, waiting for me like a stray dog in the cold. Megan, he croaked, stepping toward me. Please. Just hear me out. I crossed my arms, raising an eyebrow. Why should I? Because I'm sorry, he said desperately. I made a mistake, okay? I was stupid, and I lost everything, and whose fault is that? I interrupted. Mine. He opened his mouth, then shut it, realizing he had no argument left. I took a slow step forward, staring him down like he was nothing. You had a wife who gave you everything, I said coldly. You had a partner who worked, cleaned, paid the bills. Loved you. And you threw it away for some cheap fling. He swallowed hard. You deserve this, Ethan. I turned and walked away, my heels clicking against the pavement. His voice cracked as he called after me, Megan, please. I didn't look back, I didn't need to. Because Ethan was nothing to me now, and I was finally free. Called after me, Megan, please. I didn't look back, I didn't need to. Because Ethan was nothing to me now, and I was finally free.